welcome to Zop Lady. Welcome to my channel once again. And today I have another special guest on my seat. And this gentleman, I've known him for just some few months ago. And my interaction with him, he's very passionate about education, which is to my surprise that most of the time young men, because he's a young man, I mean, don't be deceived by his beard. He's a young man. Most people are passionate about money, but he's not passionate about money, but rather passionate about what? Education. So I'll give him the opportunity to tell us about who this gentleman is, because he's loaded. So let me just give him the opportunity and ask him.
Well,
how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Very well, thank you.
Yes. So can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Boniface Dube.
Yeah.
And I'm in my early 40s.
Yeah.
So that could be young, that could be perceived as young or old, but I'm in my early 40s.
Yeah.
And I'm a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But out of all the businesses that I have, the biggest business in my portfolio is the one that has to do with education.
Education. Did you hear that? Education. So let's pay attention to details.
Yes, and if I can have just a moment to plug my education business, it's www.comprehensiveeducationconsultants.com, all one word, no spaces in between. Yeah. That website will tell you a little bit about what I do and who I do it for. You may be my future client.
Exactly. That is the reason why Zop Lady is here, you know, to throw the spotlight on important people like Boniface. Yes?
Yes. So after plugging my website, let me tell you a little bit about myself.
Okay.
I have studied in Zimbabwe. I have studied in South Africa. I've studied in the United States. I've studied in Switzerland. I've studied in Poland. I've studied in Canada. Whoa. So as we speak right now, I'm actually doing another degree.
Are you joking me?
Yes, almost every year, every 2 years, I do a master's degree, just because I enjoy education that much. Right now, I'm enrolled at Kozminski University in Poland. I'm doing a master's in science and digital marketing. I'm almost finished. I'll be defending my thesis in a few months. But my coursework is almost finished.
Wow.
So, but I've got a few other degrees that I have lined up. So that's my background in terms of my credibility to speak about education. And then I think the next thing that I would like to address is why I'm so passionate about education. This is a very, very important topic for everyone. Please pay attention. The thing that has made education so important for me is what it has done for my family. Okay. My father grew up without a dad. He was his dad passed away when he was 8 years old, and my father was a goat herder and a cattle herder in his rural area called Kezi.
Kezi. So if you are in Zimbabwe, I'm sure you know where Kezi is. Yeah. You tell us exactly where it is.
Yes, so now in this time, education was known to be a priority, obviously, but it was about affordability and access to education. But luckily, he had an older brother. Okay. His older brother became trained as a teacher and later on a headmaster. Okay. So in the 50s and 60s, my dad's older brother became the dad of the family. He took the responsibility to look after his entire family, not just his own siblings, but siblings, children, cousins, aunts, uncles, everything. He had a big heart for inspiring people through education, and he was a principled man. So you couldn't just be a rubbish somebody and expect to be treated with kid gloves with him. So that's where the education angle comes from. He got my father educated, and really at Christmas time when he would come to see us, he did not bring sweets or candy.
What does he bring?
He brought pencils
and
exercise books.
Wow.
Right, and And I was left-handed for a long time.
Yeah. Were you not beaten for using left?
I was beaten thoroughly for using left to the point where now I write with my right hand.
So can you now use both hands?
Yeah, I'm ambidextrous, but when I play soccer, I still
use your left
yeah,
foot.
and when I play golf or when I bat,
Yeah.
I still use my left hand.
Yeah.
But coming back to our story,
Yeah.
he would try and get me to write on the same line of paper, coming with my left hand this side and coming from my right hand this side.
To meet in the middle.
To meet in the middle.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, you understand?
What was the rationale behind that? Did he ever tell you?
I think he knew the psychology of having a left hemisphere of the brain and a right hemisphere of the brain. It was about him seeing that, look, children have way more potential than we ascribe to them. So get them working, get them doing usual things, get them doing unusual things, and you unlock the potential that's in them. So that's the true inspiration for why I'm so crazy about education. I mean, I'll tell you, in my immediate family, we have had education being the central part of all the life-changing moments.
Wow.
My mom was in America doing calculus. At 48 years old, she was doing calculus. You know, my dad got his master's degree when he was in his 50s. My brother is a medical doctor.
Wow.
He was one of the leading...
From a local village boy,
yes. He's a medical doctor in the United States.
Wow.
My older sister studied
Respect.
law. My other sister, she went to a very, very prestigious university in New York, in the United States. And, you know, it's not that anyone is born smart or anything like that. Yes, there are environmental advantages, there are genetic advantages, but it's all passion. It's passion, and sometimes the passion, and you combine it with hard work, you almost always get good results.
Yeah.
So that's the background for why education. Why education?
Exactly.
And it's important because I've seen it change people's lives. I've seen it change people's lives. The reason why I made it a business is because I had helped so many people.
True.
Even one of my good friends, we are estranged now, but when I was 17 years old, I brought him to the United States. And his father had a garage. He had a garage where his family didn't even know about, where he was deriving extra income, and had a second wife that his family didn't even know about, a second family. So I had an inkling that if I don't do anything for him in that manner, he's not going to get the opportunity that is befitting of his profession, of his potential and his potential professionalism. So now I think he works for the government of Ontario in Canada. Is done well for himself. So, I'm very happy for him. But he's not the only one.
Other people.
I did hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of such things before I turned it into a business. Because it was very important for me to do something that I was passionate about. Because like I told you, I'm a serial entrepreneur. There's a lot
serial
of things
entrepreneur. So maybe if you do not understand the word serial entrepreneur, maybe we'll also give you the opportunity to also explain into details for the benefit of those who do not understand it. But before then, he said something which really struck me. Why the passion for education? He laid the basis from where his father was from a headsman, and his father's brother, which is his uncle, he became like the head of the family and put all of them through education. And this is what we are missing as modern society, African modern society, where these days each one for himself, God for us all. And this is not what I want to advocate for. I want us to go back to our root, where family members who have the wherewithal help other people, bring them. I mean, not just to give them handout money, but rather, what did he say? Education. So now we're going to ask him exactly what his educational area, those serial entrepreneur he's talking about, we'll give him the opportunity to tell us exactly what he's doing, so that you who is watching me, you can also share this link with a family member or a friend to get in touch with him and then see exactly how he can help you, bring you to whichever aspect of life you want to find yourself in terms of education, because education is what? The key to many opportunities that is presented to us. So,
Okay, so in terms of education, my main area of specialization is tertiary education.
tertiary. Okay.
Yes, this is after you finish high school and you decide to go to university or college or whatever it is. But before that, I work with students, I work with parents. We work hand in hand in various areas. The first thing that I tell parents is you need to teach your kids three things. The only three things that you need to teach your kids in order for them to succeed as an undergraduate student. And this is from my experience, from my observation, because I'm a scenario planner. I'm a human potential expert. I like to make sure that I cover all the bases. And the first thing that you have to teach your kids is how to communicate. You teach them how to communicate clearly and honestly. That's a very important thing, because communication almost always seems to come up no matter what you do in life. Being a good communicator will never hurt you. The second thing that you need to teach your kids is how to manage their health. Very important, because you'll find that when you get to university or college, you have people from all walks of life with different habits and different attitudes pertaining to health. So you have to make sure you give your kids a very good foundation on how to manage their health. I'm also speaking from experience, from what went well and didn't go well for me, and what I've observed from an anecdotal standpoint as going well and not going well for other people. And then the third thing is how to manage your money, because believe it or not, there are a lot of people that don't know how to manage money even well into adulthood. This is an invaluable skill that you can teach your children very early on in life, how to manage the resources that they have effectively, especially when you get to university, because people have different budgets. You'll get situations where you're overspending, or you maybe end up, God forbid, stealing from other kids because you don't have, or you're greedy, or this or that.
You're living above your means.
Yes, so it's very important that those three skills are ingrained within your children. So while you do that, here's where I come in. I come in where I help you match with the university that you want to go to, university matching, because some universities have big student bodies, some have small student bodies, some are known for liberal arts, some are known for business, some are known for science, some are known for specific disciplines. So we have to try and match you with the best school possible. So that's the first part, is university/student matching. And then the next thing is test preparation.
Test?
Yes.
Why test preparation?
Well, some schools require you to have certain test scores in standardized tests, like the SAT, the Scholastic Aptitude Test, or certain tests that they have. That's usually
even if you have passed your matric with high mark, you still are required to write these tests?
It hasn't been as much of a requirement with COVID. I'll give you an example. Harvard University has waived the requirement for you to have the SAT. Officially, they waived it. But guess what? They still look kindly towards the students with good SAT scores. So it's very, very important that the standardized tests, you prepare and do well for them. Certain education systems, like I know the African education system, even our best students, normally they don't do well for standardized tests, because that's not how we
do
prepare.
chew and pour. I mean, chew and pour in Ghana, I don't know how you term it in Zimbabwe, but in Ghana, chew and pour is just reading word for word and just go and deliver the same thing. And this is what we are really lacking in our educational system. So as a Zimbabwean, what efforts have you made to get these people prepared? Are you looking at just supporting Zimbabwe citizen, or South African, or West African countries, and maybe Ghana? How do you...
We have a global presence. We have a global presence. Again, if you check out www.comprehensiveeducationconsultants.com, it's all one word. So, no spaces in between.
Can you spell it, because sometimes people, because of accents, somebody may not really...
www.comprehensive COMPREHENSIVEEducationconsultants, comprehensiveeducationconsultants.com. I had to think about that for a minute. So yeah, what you're talking about is the regurgitation of information. So this is just reading to cram. I don't encourage that. I encourage people to read to understand. Forget about it's important to get good grades, but it's more important to understand what you're reading, what you're studying. So our approach is a holistic approach. Our students take a minimum of 18 months to prepare for their SAT exams. We've had students from New Zealand, we've had students from Zimbabwe, Cameroon, South Africa, Zambia, students from the United States, students from everywhere in the world. Because when you're preparing for university, it's not just the university matching that we're talking about, or the test preparation that we're talking about. There's a little bit more involved. Sometimes students want to speak with an academic advisor from the school. We represent several hundred universities from all over the world, and we're able to dispense with the work that is done by an academic advisor in terms of preparation, planning, and applying. And in addition to that, some students may want to have a school visit so that they see what the campus looks like before they embark on the journey of being a student at that school.
So sorry to interrupt, but then from all the presentation you're making here, it's kind of tilted to the higher people in society. How do the poor people, because this preparation test, you need internet. I don't know, do you do face-to-face or it is via internet?
It's mostly via internet because that's just the way the world has gone now. The world has gone to a place where even those who are living below the poverty datum line have smartphones. That's just how the world is now. So it's more expensive to do things over the face-to-face type of interaction as opposed to doing things online. But in anticipating your next question, let me try and answer because I think you're going to speak about affordability of school scholarships, financial aid and such.
And then the underprivileged. How do you rope in the underprivileged into such system?
Right. We also have another company as well. It's a non-profit organization. It's a Bionominal Group. www.bionominalgroup.org. So it's www.bionominalgroup.org. Very, very important. That's a non-profit that we have. We use that to raise money for different causes, many different causes. But one of the causes is an education fund, so that we can help students to be able to go to school. But more importantly, there are several ways that you can have your education paid for. One way is to have good grades. So it's very important for you to study so that you can at least have decent grades, but to study even harder so that you have excellent grades. Because if you have excellent grades, you'll have offers for scholarships from many, many institutions. We've had one student who had more than 35 full scholarship offers from the US and Canada and the UK.
Wow.
And she had to really struggle to choose.
It's a she. Did you hear that? It's a she. It's lady, the women empowerment.
Yes.
So what would you tell young women who are not really studying hard? They just think life is about just settling with a rich man and not really working hard on yourself together.
Look, I'm not here to judge anyone, but I can only advise what I've seen work in the past for other people. If you work hard, in my experience, life rewards those people who are
Do
determined.
you work hard or you work smart? What would you advocate?
It's
Which
the same,
one is?
it's the same
It's
thing.
the same.
It's the
Is
same
there a
thing.
difference to work smart or
It's
to
the-
work hard?
It's the same thing, because you can work by sweating, you can work by thinking, you can work by anything, whether it's hard or smart. Guess what? It comes back to the same.
Working hard.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So in my experience, life rewards those who are determined. If you're determined, life will reward you, no matter what it is that you're doing. If you're
No
determined,
matter what, yeah.
yeah.
So-
That's just how the laws of nature
Yeah.
manifest themselves.
Yeah.
So, speaking of scholarships, so we spoke about an achievement scholarship. If you do well as a student, you can also do well as an athlete. If you're a good athlete,
Okay.
if you're a good athlete, you can get your university paid for that way. And there are other ways too to get scholarships. There are government-to-government programs. I know the European Union has got very generous programs for students all over the world. There are emeritus programs that they have. We helped a student go to Leipzig University in Germany for a developmental studies master's degree. It's done in conjunction with 8 other universities. We did that in 2017. Most recently, we've had another student get a full scholarship in Oklahoma in the United States for a master's degree in nonprofit leadership and management. So look, it comes down to having good grades, or having athletic ability, or having access to these government-to-government programs, these bilateral scholarship programs. They seem to really help people.
With those bilateral stuff, normally it goes to the politicians' children. It goes like whom you know.
Yes.
But for the ordinary person, if that person goes to your website, will they find how to get to you directly?
Yes.
Your contact details.
The contact details are there. Send. There's a contact form on the website, so you can send us a communication through our contact form, or you can send us an email. It's all on the website. That's the way the world is communicating these days. You go on the contact form,
and then
or you email.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we are gradually coming to the end of our discussion or conversation.
Right.
Would you want to say anything in terms of message, or maybe how to get to you directly? Of course, you've mentioned your website and other stuff. What is more important to you?
I think my message today is just to give people hope that there's still something in education, because the value of education has been downplayed.
I think this time around, I want you to look in the camera and then talk to them directly.
Sure. Let me talk to your audience. I think what I would like to say to you is, take your time to have hope in education. Don't allow the world that we live in with social media and content creation to downplay the value of education, because that's only a minuscule amount of people that make it through that way. Education is still the one trusted way for you to work hard and have results that are tangible. And while you do that, make sure you do something that you love, something that you're passionate about, something that you care about, and something that you can reasonably be successful at. Because it's very important that after you spend all that effort, that you at least can make a living out of it for yourself, or to be able to create wealth for other people as well, to be part of what you do. I think that's my message for today.
Thank you so much, Boniface. And for sure, this is not going to be the last conversation I'm going to have with Boniface. If you remember in his earlier introduction, he did mention that he is a serial entrepreneur. So meaning there are other things that will unfold. So definitely I'm going to book for another appointment with him, and then he will definitely be on my guest seat again. Thank you, Boniface. And
you
I
very
like to
much.
give him a handshake, and then I
Thank
show
you.
him the Ghana handshake. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know the Ghana handshake?
No.
No. So we first of all this
Yes.
to check if we are strong enough,
Yes.
if we are okay,
Yes.
and then now we snap our
Ah,
fingers.
okay.
Yeah, so that is
All
the
right,
Ghana
all right,
handshake.
all right.
And thank you so much. And as always, don't forget to tell a friend about who Zop Lady. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please can you do that to support my channel. Thank you. See ya. Bye-bye.